9 podcasts.
Vibe Tribe, welcome back to the Ella era. Oh my God, my palms are sweating. So I just want to say a quick note before we get into today's chat. Inviting someone on this podcast doesn't mean that I personally support or agree with everything that they've done or believe. I want to bring people on my podcast to share their stories, to share their perspectives. And I honestly encourage you guys to listen with an open mind and take from it what feels right for you, because that is exactly what I've done today too. Bonnie Blue, born Tia Billinger, is a British adult content creator known for her provocative stunts, including claiming a world record after sleeping with over 1,000 men in a single day. She rose to online fame through bold, controversial content and was banned from OnlyFans in 2025 for violating its rules against extreme challenges, later moving her material to Fansly. Her unapologetic approach and headline-making feats have made her one of the most divisive figures in adult entertainment industry.
Hi.
Well, you look nice and fresh.
Thank you. I've literally just washed my face.
I love it. Let's get into it.
Perfect.
Today, are we talking to Bonnie or are we talking to Tia?
They're the same thing, to be honest, same person. Bonnie, to a certain degree, is a performance, but I still enjoy those things. It's not as if I have to switch off and I can't, I have to disassociate what I'm doing when I'm Bonnie. That's not the case. And when I talk about the things I believe in or the things I am passionate about, that's the same whether I'm Bonnie or Tia. It's just when I'm Bonnie and I'm clipping it up for social media, it's worded in a much, a way which I know is going to go viral, as opposed to a long-winded way of me and you just sat down having a general chit-chat.
And who calls you Tia?
My friends, my family, sometimes my subscribers, but sometimes they call me Bonnie as well. It's not you have to call me Tia or you have to call me Bonnie. It's
okay.
It's a
So
name,
it's not like a different, they're not different people, they're not different personalities. It's not like a different identity. It's really just the same, just two different names.
No, a lot of my friends and family that have known me from before this call me Tia because, that's the name they've known the longest. But then a lot of people just call me Bonnie, and it's not, I don't think, oh my God, no, don't call me Bonnie because I'm not physically filming today. It's the same thing. And obviously a lot of people that know me from social media refer to me as Bonnie.
Now, you've been described as one of the most polarizing women on the internet. You're the most Googled as well in the world. When the cameras are off, how do you actually see yourself?
Normal, which I know is shocking to most people, but I'm not walking around doing the crazy things you've seen on the documentary every single day. They're sort of one-offs, and even though as Bonnie, they're not every day. It would honestly break me if I did that every day because my body wouldn't handle that, and it's not something I would enjoy if I was to do that every single day. It's a one-off occasion. But when I'm not doing that, I love going on holiday, free diving, anything outdoorsy, just, I'm not glued to my phone all the time. Yes, it's a massive part of my job, which is online and on a laptop, but then the other part of me loves, honestly, being in the water, anything to do with the sea.
Okay. Now, when I watched your doco, I was, texting girlfriends at the same time, sharing outrage or shock. There was, so much that I didn't even know what to expect watching the doco. I haven't watched your content before. And it started lots of conversations between me and my girls, me and my partner, even me and my family. And I'm just curious to know what made you do the doco. Was there something was it just an opportunity? You sort of describe a lot of what you do is driven by money. So, I'm assuming that maybe the opportunity was driven by that.
No, money was not a factor in this at all. It was more, and I don't know if the documentary, to be honest, truly showed this, because I protected the people that queue up for me and the people that I speak to so much. I wanted to protect them because I know how horrible the media can be at times. But it came just after Freshers in the UK, which is very similar to your schoolies. And I was like, I wish people could see the bigger picture. I wish people could see the people that queue up for me, the people I actually interact with, and how it's not this really dirty, disgusting environment, which, I would have assumed it was like before I was in the industry, or I would have assumed it was like until I actually experienced it myself. So when the opportunity for documentary was brought to my attention, I was like, I would love to show the bigger picture.
I feel anytime, around me that your name is mentioned, it really is straight away. It is judgment, and it is,
For sure.
yeah, totally. And when you do interviews like this, do you care what people or what I might think of you?
No, you're already going to have your, judgment. And it doesn't really bother me if you like me or not. Like, if you met me in person, you'd say, you know what, she was respectful, she was polite. And you wouldn't be able to actually say a bad word about me. You might not agree with all my beliefs and my opinions on things, but I would offer you a drink. I would offer to get you lunch. I'd open the door. I'd be polite. I'd be respectful. And that's how my parents have brought me up to be, and that's how I'll always be. But no, you probably will disagree with my opinions, but would I ever do anything to hurt you? No.
Interesting. And, I mean, whose opinion matters to you?
There's not like one single person's opinion which I'm like, oh my God, their opinion's everything to me. Just as general, as long as the people I am sleeping with and the people I'm interacting with remain happy and they're enjoying what I'm able to offer in the experience with me, then that's what matters to me. Like, I'm not doing this for the women. Like, I saw a TikTok this morning. She was in Australia and it said she just watched the documentary. She was like, oh, I wish Bonnie Blue would stop asking for all women to support her. And then she said this, this, and this. Just to make it clear, I have never asked women to support me. If they do, great. But also, no problem. I've never done this for the women. As I've said many times, I've done this for husbands. I've done it because I want to do it. Like, my focus is not the women that are involved in this process.
And do you remember the first time or the first moment you actually realised that you could make shock your money or your currency? Do you remember
Yes.
that moment?
It was schoolies. I can remember I lived on the Gold Coast at the time, and I'd started to get comments about my content not being that relatable, or they couldn't watch it and imagine themselves, because before that I was only sleeping with other content creators, and a lot of these other content creators, perfect bodies, packing quite big down there, and for the average person that's not what they look like. So imagining themselves in that video with me became a lot harder. So then when schoolies came around, I was like, these people would offer me such a variety. Do you know what I mean? Some of them are going to last seconds, and sometimes maybe they're going to struggle, or they might not be able to get hard, they're going to be nervous, and the interaction I'd have with them would be real, raw and relatable to my average subscriber. And I can remember I put a message out on my Instagram story at the time and just said, if you're 18 plus and going to schoolies and you would like to film content with me, drop me a message. And within 24 hours, it really escalated. It was like in Daily Mail, other articles had started speaking about it. I'd started doing radio shows. And I didn't realise at the time what a big deal me sleeping with 18-year-olds was, because teen had always been the biggest category. So I couldn't work out, especially if everything, as everyone says, is equal, how suddenly all these women had a massive uproar with me doing it with an 18-year-old. But no, not an issue with the male porn stars that had done it with schoolgirls of 18 age. But it was more the media, the way the media reacted and how it suddenly became a big story. I was like, okay, wow, the more obviously people speak about me, the more I'm going to be able to say, hey, I've also got a video for you to purchase, and I can earn money off the back of it.
Wow. And I mean, I couldn't find if you've said this before, but was there a certain time where you realised that gangbangs were something that you were actually into?
Yeah, it happened to a certain degree by accident. So I did schoolies in November 2023, and then I went to spring break, which is like the American version.
Yeah.
And I'd slept with, a lot of people during the spring break period. And it was my last day at the hotel, where a lot of these spring breakers go. And I'd seen a lot of them during the hotel, in the hotel during the day. And they'd say, oh, I haven't had a chance to sleep with you, or I've messaged you and you haven't replied. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just share my room number online, and I'll see and sleep with as many as I can. And I did that for hours and hours, and it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm really tired now, and there were still 19 people in the queue. So I just said, did you all just want to come in together? And there was a frat house, and yeah, that was my first gangbang, and I actually really enjoyed it, because I didn't know if I'd handle it or if I'd be up for it, if I'd be turned on by it. But to be honest, my first experience was more funny than it was like sexual. Like, they was laughing, they was high-fiving, some of them couldn't get hard, some of them was barely lasting longer than a minute. And it's and I've said it before, and I know it's so hard to picture, because I genuinely wouldn't be able to picture it until I did it myself. But everyone was having a good time. It wasn't dirty, it didn't seem wrong, because it's not wrong, and it was just a really good experience for them and for me. And that was my first experience in a gangbang.
Wow. It's honestly such a strange, I'm going to be completely honest, like, it's such a strange feeling for me to be sitting here having this conversation and hearing you, you know, even just the way that you communicate about your first experience and just how like nonchalant it is. It's just like the most wild thing for me to hear, but for you, it's just, you know, it's just crazy to me.
Don't worry, like, obviously for me it seems normal, and I still get like, oh my god, it's crazy. Like, prior to this, I'd never had a one night stand, I hadn't slept with more than 5 people, and my friends that would just get with people on a night out, and I think, oh my god, I can't believe you just done that. And then suddenly I'm saying me having sex with 19 college boys is, you know, just a normal bonding experience. Like, I do get it.
It's wild. And you said in the doco that you say no to 90% of what your team suggests. What kind of things have you said no to? Because for me, I'm like, is there anything that this girl wouldn't do?
One, I don't do backdoor. And second of all, it's just ideas sometimes when we're chatting, like, you know, what could we do next? What would be a good idea? But yeah, it's hard to list exactly like what I've said no to. But just as a whole, if I think I'm not going to be turned on by the experience, or I'm not going to have a fun time doing it, there's loads of things I'm aware would go really viral. But if I'm not going to enjoy it, then what's the point?
Okay. So it really is more, it's not just about the act of, or, you know, the production, or, you know, them having fun and them being pleasured. It's really like you're also wanting to have a good time too.
Yeah, there's like a good balance. Like, I recently did a UK tour, like, was being sat in an uncomfortable van for like 5 hours a day driving, the really fun part, not always, but was celebrating with uni students, having fun and getting pleasure from it. Yeah, that was fun. So it's just, you've got to get the perfect balance of things that are going to go viral, things that are going to get spoken about on social media, but also being happy in the process. Because if you're not happy in the process,
For sure.
like, it's as simple as, what's the point?
Yeah. No, and I get that. And is there one person in the world that you do want to have sex with?
Oh, I always thought Chris Hemsworth was really attractive.
Shit.
Every time I went to Byron Bay, I'd be thinking, maybe today's the day.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty gorgeous.
Yeah. He
And
is.
is there someone that you would never have sex with?
Oh, I mean, they say never. So, to be honest, if it benefited me and they was above legal age, like, no problem. Like, if someone said to me, oh, if you sleep with this person in Australia, you'll get your visa back, I'll see you there.
And that's funny. And on that thought, actually, I was just thinking about back to Chris Hemsworth. Have you had any like high profile celebrities? Obviously, you probably can't say names, but have you had any high profile celebrities try to get in touch to catch up?
Oh, for sure. But I don't see any interest in it, because I've even like met with celebrities beforehand, and it's been like proposed as more of like a social media thing, like, oh, we can both get content, and then it's not that at all. It's they just want sex, and I don't give it to them, because if it was something for me and they was going to post their face on that sex tape, and they was also going to say, hey, I've just made a sex tape with Bonnie Blue, 100% I'll do it. But I don't care how many followers you've got or how much money you've got, unless there's something in it for me in terms of pleasure and, I'm able to sell the video and tell everyone about it, really not interested. But then a lot of other girls that will think what I do is disgusting and, oh God, I wouldn't do that, would more than happily sometimes sleep with someone, flirt with someone to either get a free drink or get a shout out on Instagram. And don't get me wrong, that's fine, but I wouldn't do that. Okay.
So after you might do a sex challenge or a stunt, do you have ways that maybe you cleanse your soul and your body? Because I remember in the doco, like, you got really unwell after you did your challenge. I think you had like a virus of some sort. And the way I was seeing it is like, I'm big with, energy transfers when I meet people, when I even used to sleep with people, like I felt like we would pick up and carry other people's energy. Is there like rituals or things that you do once you've finished, participating in something?
Just, bleach head to toe, make sure I'm really clean. No, there is honestly,
Nothing?
no, like it honestly varies. Like, I have about a very long shower afterwards. Honestly, I'll come back, have a shower, have a Pepsi Max, put on a good film. Had super noodles after my last one, and that's it. Like, there isn't a set way I relax. If I'm close to Nottingham, which is where my pets are, I'll spend loads of time with them. Whereas if I'm in like London, it's probably just a shower, Pepsi Max, and a good movie.
So it's really just like you've completely almost disassociated, like from the moment that you've finished working and you've gone home to have a shower and have your Pepsi, it's like what you've just done doesn't even cross your mind.
See, it's not that I've like disassociated from it. It's tiring. It's like anything. If you've gone to the gym, if you've gone at the beach all day, you want to get back, have a shower, have a cold drink. And that's really what it is like for me. Like when I did the 1,000, that evening I sat and watched loads of the content back because I hadn't seen any of it from anyone else's point of view. All I'd seen is blue ski mask, sweat, fluids, just about everything dripping on my face for the last 12 hours. All the stories that other people got to see on TikTok and everything else that had gone viral, like someone bringing their mum to the event, I hadn't seen or heard any of this. So I was really excited to get back and watch what had actually gone off that day and all the behind the scenes because I wasn't aware.
The biggest question that kept coming up was around, I guess, you as a person. And people want to know you more and they also want to understand your brain. Because I know that you've said that, you think and you feel and everything's very different.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? When did you know that maybe you thought differently?
It's not necessarily that I think differently to sort of everybody else, but in terms of especially the industry I'm in, I said the biggest difference between me and everyone else, I'm a slut, but I'm a slut with a brain. A lot of people in this industry are just sluts, and that's no problem. You're definitely in the right industry. But there's clearly a marketing aspect. There's clearly a business behind it as well. And that's very much what I understand. I didn't do this job because I'm stupid and I don't understand other things. When you see sex workers, sometimes it's because, they don't want to do anything else and this is easy work and they don't really have the brain capacity to do something else. No problem. But then someone like myself, I do, I am intelligent to a certain degree, depends who you ask. But I understand what to do. I understand how to sell myself. I understand the industry I'm in. And the main thing is I have a connection with subscribers, which I'm able to, monetize off and I'm able to really expand on.
So are you really sitting there, because look, I've got friends in the industry as well and I understand how it all works. Are you sitting there, communicating with your subscribers? Like, are you that person that's sitting there messaging them all?
Yeah, so I'll do a lot of FaceTimes, a lot of customs, because to me, that's where I'm able to get to know them a lot better. And I know people say AI's, good and stuff, but I don't think AI could replicate me on a video call.
I have a very random, vulnerable question for you.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you cried?
I think I got asked this question before, and it was probably like a month or 6 weeks ago.
Someone's asked you that recently?
Yeah, because I always get asked the question. It's, when did you cry?
Damn it.
I know, so sorry, it's not an original question. It's no secret, I'm going through a divorce at the moment and it can be definitely difficult at times. So yeah, probably regarding the divorce. But I
Okay.
used to answer the question really wrong. When people used to ask me if I was emotional, I'd always say no, because I know everyone was referring to me crying or breaking down and being tearful. I'm not emotional in that aspect because I'm always just honestly happy, and I've always got a smile on my face. I'm always having a good time. But I know during interviews it doesn't always come across that way. I can be dead behind the eyes, as many people say. And it's more because I'm being interrogated. I'm being
For
asked
sure.
questions where I'm having to defend myself. But so I look very straight faced, and I look, I'm concentrated. I'm ready to give you an answer back. I'm ready to be sharp. And
Now, you said in the documentary that you don't have many friends. And, I think about, I put myself in your shoes when I was watching it thinking like, I just don't
yeah.
think that my friends would be supportive if this was me. And do you feel like that bothers you, not having as many girlfriends or friends?
No, so I've never had like a big group of friends. Like I've always just had close friends, but those group of friends are the ones you could call on or lean on for anything. So I think in the documentary it's more portrayed as like, oh my God, feel sorry for me type of thing, and done all dramatically, and oh, she doesn't leave the house, and that isn't the case.
And how do you process when people invent entire identities about you? I know I recently saw, well, not recently, it was a while ago now, that they said that you were trans.
Oh yeah.
So
Um,
how do you process that? Do you like clap back to the haters? Do you, publicly make announcements, or do you just like see it, forget it and move on?
Sometimes I will. I mean, I don't really make statements as such. Sometimes I will entertain it. Sometimes I'll go along with it, and I just find it amusing half the time. I think, how could I be offended by that? I'm not bothered if people think I've seen videos of when it's like analysing my facial structure, and it's like, yeah, she's a man. And I'm really not bothered, because if you've got the time to sit and do that, I've gone and done something much better with my time.
And the second most common question
Yeah.
was about the societal impact of your work. So I'm also very curious to know, when do you feel most empowered?
Um, I mean, I definitely obviously feel empowered when I do like gangbangs. Like I'm surrounded by loads of men giving me nothing but compliments, and they're all there for me. They're, as much as people think they disrespect me, those men are really respectful to me. But I wouldn't say there's a certain time where I've gone like, okay, this is the most I feel empowered, or oh, if I do this, I'm going to feel really empowered. It's not a feeling I chase. But there's
Do
been
you,
times I definitely feel like, wow, I feel really empowered right now. I feel really strong. I'm really proud of exactly what I'm doing. It's, if that feeling comes along, great. If it doesn't, it's not something I'm chasing.
do you think, I mean, you stated there that it's being surrounded by men, especially in maybe that gangbang scenario, like that's when
Yeah.
you feel that empowerment. And then when I sort of like think of that comment and how you strategically do your content targeting at women,
Yeah.
like it surprises me that, well, I don't know if really surprises me, but is there something here that you just don't really, like, women don't feel like they should be empowering you? Do you not feel empowered by women?
One, I think women moan a lot, they bitch a lot, and they've not got a lot better to do. Which people say, well, how can I say that? Just go on TikTok. You don't have the men sat there going, this girl's done this girl's worn this, look at this girl's skin in this video. Like they say they love to support women. Yeah, I don't ever see men picking apart men, how women pick women apart. And I'm not saying I have an issue with that, but I'm also not part of the problem. Yes, I will make generic videos, but I don't pick out and use someone's family photo and say, hey, I'm coming after your husband, or hey, you've not sucked your husband off. It's very generic. And if you feel targeted by that, sometimes it's because it's hitting close to home. And if it's hitting close to home, that's not my problem.
I mean, you seem to genuinely love what you do. It seems that you genuinely love your fans, and you love
Yeah.
being accessible. You love being adored, desired on such, an extreme level. And some may even call that narcissistic. Do you think that it is?
No, not at all. Everyone would prefer me to be traumatized and upset and come forward and say, oh my God, yes, I have daddy issues. That's not the case. People are more frustrated that I've not broken. You've not seen me get upset. You've just continued to see me push on, do more and more. And everyone's, they're wanting me to be hurt, and they say they support me and they say they're doing this because they're speaking on their behalf and making a TikTok about me because they're really concerned about me. But in the same sentence, they're fueling hate towards me.
Now, the thing I really did admire about, I guess, you in the documentary, it would probably be your work ethic. I'm also a really hard worker, so I can appreciate and respect different levels though. Have you always had a knack for marketing and business?
Yeah, so I started work at a young age. I've always liked money, always wanted freedom. And it was never sort of the money I was chasing, which I sort of found out when I started this job. It was the lifestyle that money can provide. And I know when they say money doesn't buy happiness, but for me, one, I've got expensive taste, and two, I want a lot of freedom in life. And time is generally what costs the most. Being able to have more time in your day, you need to be making money elsewhere so that you can take time off, whether that's with family, friends, or future partner, whatever you want to do. You need to be able to have money to not be sat in an office or to be sat and have an employee or being told when to work. But I did recruitment for 5 years, and I wouldn't say that taught me a lot, but it taught me hard work. It taught me enough to know I do not want to be sat in the office for the rest of my life, sitting in rush hour, 20 days annual leave, having to ask to near enough go to the toilet, or to be able to ask, can I go to the dentist because my tooth's absolutely throbbing. I was like, this isn't happiness. This isn't what I want to do. I've actually got more respect for myself now than what I did when I sat in an office.
And when you shared how when you create TikToks, the first sort of 5 to 10 seconds might be targeted at the women, so because that they'll show their partners or, whoever's nearby. I was really interested, I guess, in this strategy around this. And does all of your content that you sort of plan, do you always have like a strategy behind everything with the team? Or does it sort of just come to mind?
It's sort of like a breakdown. So I'll decide what the event is. For example, if it's, okay, I want to sleep with 1,000 men, and then it's breaking it down of how is that possible? Because you need to get people to turn up. So it's a breakdown of one, once you've got the venue organised, the next part is, okay, how are we going to get those people there? What TikToks are we going to do? One, that doesn't get reported. Well, obviously they do get reported, but so that it complies to different, for example, on Twitter, I can literally post full on porn and say, hey, meet me at 12 o'clock at this time. And that's fine on that platform. Things like TikTok, you've got to be a bit more clever with your wording. And also the men aren't sat there all the time on TikTok. Yes, they'll have a scroll, but I do. I'll honestly sit there for well over an hour and I'm still scrolling on TikTok. So you've got to make TikToks that people are going to talk about, they're going to clip, they're going to get frustrated. So using words like, if you've not pleasured your husband, or if your wife hasn't done this, then let me do it. And they're all videos which the women are going to continue to watch, push it to get more views, and then their husband will eventually see it.
Interesting.
But I say I've said it many times, and the women still fall for it on repeat. So I think I've warned you, and you've still done it. So how many times are you going to be clueless?
And I know that there is a bit of speculation online around feuds. Are the feuds genuine, or are they to dive attention?
I think there's no frustration from my side aside from the copying. It's more they know mentioning my name gets views, and it's the same for bigger creators and smaller creators. I don't have to make my personality about somebody else, or I don't have to name drop, because I've built a name and a business off my own back. Other people, it's not as easy, or other people have to be associated to somebody else to grow. And I think that's with not just sex work, that can be in any industry.
And how do you feel about the copycats? Do you take it as a compliment?
Of course it's flattery. I don't know why more people don't copy, to be honest. I clearly run a very successful business. However, copying the business compared to, you can't copy exactly how I am, because like I said, I do this because I do get a lot of happiness from it and I'm okay mentally. But for a lot of people, it's different. And I don't ever lie and say it's easy, because it's not. A lot of people really struggle. And that's the only bit I find hard is, like, I'm not going to be responsible if people get hurt trying to copy, because I see stunts that movie stars do. I don't go and copy and then think, why can't I do it? Everyone is different and people need to learn their limits.
And do you feel like you've changed the industry?
For sure. Before, people would just, flirt at the idea of sleeping with a fan, and that's just one fan. Now, a casual 1000 gangbang seems like, why would you not do that? It's the new normal. But no, it's obviously not the new normal, but sleeping with people and sharing your location is not unheard of now. Whereas 2 years ago, sharing your location and giving them a blue ski mask, it was unheard of.
And after everything that you've, I guess, achieved in, your business and your career, I mean, from an outsider, we would say that, you've made a lot of money. And is that, have you reached how do you measure success?
Being happy. And it must seem boring because I say that a lot, but before it was, oh my God, imagine if I earn this much money. Imagine if I earn this. Once I hit a certain point, even once that money doubled, my life didn't change. I just realised to get a better balance. Like when I first started this, I was having sex most days or like every other day, and I was trying to film as much content as possible. Now I don't have sex nowhere near as much. The events you see, because they're spoken about so much, it must seem like I have sex all the time, and that's really not the case. But now I have a much better balance. So to me, that's how I measure success. It's next week I'll probably go away on holiday so I can focus on just filming solo content. I have the luxury of honestly traveling the world and still being able to work, and to me that is success, and a lot of happiness comes along the way.
And I know that you've wanted to be a mother in your past. Is that still something that you want? I
think so. Before, I was very fixated on being a mum and having children. Obviously, yes, I would have loved to have fallen pregnant, but I'm actually really grateful it sort of didn't happen, because it was the wrong time in my life. And I think because I was unhappy, but I didn't realise I was unhappy, I was fixated on, okay, well, I'm married. I thought I was in a happy relationship. I've just relocated to Australia. Okay, clearly the reason I feel a bit of a gap is because it's time for children. And I think a lot of women feel that, but sort of don't realise that it's probably not children they're looking for, it's their actual life, and they're probably not that happy themselves. But yeah, if children happen in the future, amazing, but at the moment, it's definitely not focus.
And I mean, your comment section do love to ask this one, and I'm also curious to know, if you did have a daughter, would you want her to follow in your footsteps or even see your content?
They're probably going to see it. I'm not stupid. I know what online's like. They'll probably get shown it. But things are changing very, very quickly. It's more common, especially from when I was at school. I wouldn't choose it for them, but I'd be more than supportive if they did it. They'd have obviously the opportunity and the money to do whatever they wanted in life, but if this is what they wanted to do, of course I'd support them. It's more something I'd be thinking, okay, are they strong enough? Are they aware they're going to get hate? Are they aware bad things can happen and they could get, be the most searched woman on the world and everyone's talking crap about them a lot of the time. So it'd be more just because I want to protect them. But if it's what they wanted, I'd be, nothing but supportive.
And Bonnie, is there an end goal with everything that you're doing?
No, not really. And this isn't because this is an interview or I actually know the answer, I'm just not sharing it. I really don't know. If I stopped enjoying this in a few weeks' time, I would stop. I've got the money. I've got more than enough things I can be getting up to. But at the moment, I don't see why I should stop. So there's no end goal. I'm always going to have sex, and I'm pretty sure I'm always going to want to film it. So why not post it?
And what are you most proud of yourself for?
Oh, well, actually, I helped a woman and I paid for her IVF journey. And she messaged me a few days ago to say she is pregnant and she's due on the 9th of May, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And I'm really glad I was able to help in some way.
Now, we've got to unfortunately get to the end. So we'll go straight to some quick fire stunt questions that I had written out. Okay. How do you prepare and what aftercare is there after a big stunt?
Making sure I've shaved properly because I always miss spots. Shave, moisturiser, make sure I'm hydrated, and then afterwards a Pepsi Max and a good movie.
Fair enough. What's the craziest stunt that you've ever done?
1057.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be sexual, but what gives you adrenaline?
Free diving.
Free diving. Have you ever felt like you were in danger?
No.
Was the record about proving something to the world or to yourself?
Probably both. I didn't really think that deep into it. I wanted to do it and I did it. Like a lot of the things I do, I know people want a bigger meaning and a bigger purpose. Sometimes you just do something because you want to do it. There's not always a reason.
How do you ever stop trying to one-up yourself or other creators?
Other creators aren't a competition, but I would always one-up myself. I would always want to do bigger and better. So...
And my last little question, how do you decide where you travel for these stunts?
Depends where's got the most 18-year-olds.
Fair enough. And Bonnie Blue, what's next for you?
I honestly don't know just yet. I'm back to the drawing board. I've just finished a UK tour of the UK, and I only finished that a few days ago. So next week's going to be filled with solo content and catching up on all the stuff I've not done over the last few weeks. But I don't know, what would you suggest? And retiring isn't an option.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe taking a really nice long break or something.
Just don't disappear off social media for 10 years, please.
No, I'm not in any position to say. And, you know, I feel like you definitely keep the world on its toes and you also keep me on my toes. And, you know, even after chatting to you, I'm not really sure to make of it all still. But look, I know that I definitely won't forget this chat. And thank you for sharing and coming on and, yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the conversation. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely still processing, but I hope that you guys, I don't know, I'm not going to use the word enjoyed, but like, I don't know, got a little bit of insight, and I hope that some of your questions were answered like mine were, because I'm a curious cucumber, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.